Hi Awana friends, it's Miss Christy. This is our last Bible lesson for Awana until next year in 2021. So I will be coming back to you the first week of January. That will be LOL night. So you can share a favorite meme or joke with me, and that will be our next theme for the new year. And your goodie bags will have some fun emoji stuff in it, okay? So I won't see you back until the first week of January, and I won't be meeting with y'all until then, after this, okay? I will be getting this week, I'll be getting with you to deliver your Christmas presents, and instead of a store, we are going to have gift cards for you based on your points that you've earned this semester. So whatever your points are, I will collect the gift cards for you and deliver those during the Christmas break. Okay? All right. And so tonight is, before we leave for the year, tonight is Pajama Night. So if you want to wear your pajamas and let me know about that, what your favorite pajamas are, maybe a picture in your pajamas, that will be fine. And if I see you, you can wear your pajamas if your parents are okay with that. But tonight is Pajama Night. I do have a pair of fuzzy socks for everybody, and I'll let you have a selection of those, so I'll let you pick those out. And please don't touch them all if I do see you, but I will let you know what I have, and you can choose from that selection. And I also have some hot chocolate for you, so that will be in your goodie bags. Some fuzzy socks and some hot chocolate to stay warm, because it has turned cold outside. All right, so tonight I want to go over a little bit about the Christmas story. Most of you have read through the Christmas story in Luke chapter 2, and that's where you find the most detailed Christmas story that you can find in the Bible. Now, we also have a couple of other places in the Bible where it talks about Jesus's birth. There's a lot of prophecy about his birth, and you can find those most of those in the minor prophets back in Daniel, Jeremiah, Hosea. I think there was a couple of others that were mentioned. But anyway, so there are several places in the minor prophets books that have or talk about aspects of Jesus being born and what we are to look for. And then in the New Testament, of course, the Gospels have the most complete information about Jesus's birth and what happened with him there. I think Mark is the only gospel that doesn't have the birth story, but the others do have snippets of it. So, all right, we're going to get started. I'm going to read through actually Matthew chapter 2. We're going to talk about the wise men and their story and the Star of Bethlehem, or the Christmas star, sometimes it's called. So I'm going to read to you from Matthew chapter 2, and pay special attention to the star, okay? All right, and the wise men. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born of the King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and we are come to worship him. Now, people don't know really what exactly the star was. Some people guess it's a comet. Some people guess it might have been a conjunction of planets, which makes a really bright-looking star, even though they're not stars technically, but it makes it really bright in the sky, makes it look like a star. And I have something to show you or tell you about at the end about that as well. Or it could have just been some stars that aligned, and who knows? God has control of all the stars and planets and things in the universe. So he made this happen. But the wise men from the east, it says, they came to worship him based on there was a star in the sky, and that pointed them in the right direction. They followed it. Now, they didn't get to him when he was a baby. He was a little bit older by that point. People say probably around 2 to 3 years old. And so that's why you Sometimes you don't see baby Jesus with the wise men. You'll see pictures of the wise men with a young boy. And that's why, because it took them a little time from the time they saw the star to get to him. All right, so getting back to the story. In verse 3, when Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. And when they had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for this is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. So they're reading the prophecy that foretold of Jesus' birth, that he would be born in Bethlehem. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him as well. And when they heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. So again, he was a young child by this point. He wasn't a baby. And Herod was not being truthful with him. He wanted the wise men to find baby Jesus and come back and tell him where he was and who he was, so that Herod could have him killed, because Herod did not want someone to come and take over as king, because he thought this child was prophesied to be a king and he had the job, and he did not want this baby to grow up to take over his job. So that's why he wanted to kill him. Okay, verse 10. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented him with gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. Remember, gold is the metal gold. You know what gold is. Frankincense is a smelly kind of bark that you get from a certain tree, and it makes a certain smell. And frankincense was something that was burned in the churches, in the temples. And also, myrrh was a perfume that was very expensive, and also given and made for kings, because it was very rare. And so that's what the gold and frankincense and myrrh were. And so these were gifts worthy of a king. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed and went to their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph. Joseph was Jesus' heavenly father, who had gotten married to Mary, Jesus' mother. And so an angel appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Arise, go and take the young child and his mother, and flee unto Egypt, and be there until I bring you word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. And when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt. So they took off and left and went to Egypt. And they were there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet. So again, more prophecy being fulfilled here. They escaped into Egypt until Herod was dead, and that was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, which said, Out of Egypt have I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly angry, and set forth and killed all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under. So Herod had known from what the wise men said that the child would have been 2 or under. So that's what Herod did. He had all those babies 2 and under killed in that area to make sure that he had gotten the right one, because he didn't know which baby it was. And this was according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, In Ramah there was a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not. So he's saying that in Jeremiah there was a passage that said that there would be weeping of mothers because they had lost their children. And this is why, because Herod had them killed. And when the Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared unto a dream to Joseph in Egypt. And he said, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. And so Herod had died, it was safe to go back. And he arose and took the young child and his mother, and he came into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus did reign unto Judea in the room of his father Herod, so that means that the son of Herod's name was Archelaus, and Archelaus was the ruler now instead of Herod. And he was afraid, they were afraid to go around this new king. Notwithstanding, being warned of God in a dream, he turned aside into the parts of Galilee. So they didn't go back to the exact place in Bethlehem where they were. They came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, and that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene. And so they went to the town of Nazareth, and that's where Jesus grew up, was Nazareth. Even though he was born in Bethlehem and raised for a short time in Egypt, they settled in Nazarene, which is in Galilee, the area of Galilee in Israel. Okay? All right, so that is what we have in Matthew chapter 2. Go back and read that over if you need to, and you might want to because that's where our trivia question comes from. I'll go ahead and give you the trivia question, and then I'm going to tell you about something interesting I learned this week at work, okay? All right, so last week's trivia questions, and the answer to that one. According to Luke 2, where was the first place the shepherds went after seeing a multitude of angels praising God? The answer was Bethlehem, okay? The answer was Bethlehem. Now, your trivia question comes from Matthew chapter 2 this week. And Matthew chapter 2, it says, and I'm not going to tell you the verse, you'll have to go look it up. Who reigned after Herod? So who reigned after Herod? I don't want his son. I want the name, his name. So you're going to have to go back and look for his name. I said it like twice, 2 or 3 times in this video. But you can always go back and look in Matthew chapter 2. All right. Who reigned after Herod? That's your trivia question. Okay, so I'm sitting there at work this week, and a couple of my other teacher friends are sitting there, and they said, Did you hear about the Christmas star? And I said, No, what about the Christmas star? And they said there's supposed to be a Christmas star on this year on December 21st. Now that's like next week. And I said, next Monday. And I said, what do you mean? What is this all about? And they said, well, look it up, but there's supposed to be a Christmas star. And I was like, okay. I looked it up. This is very interesting. And the Lord tells us that in the end times, there will be signs in the heavens up above and throughout the earth that the time is getting close for Jesus to come back. So here, this might be one of those signs in the heavens. So the sign that we have on December 21st, this is going to happen. December 21st is a winter solstice. It's the shortest day of the whole year. And so that may have some significance as well. But Jupiter and Saturn, 2 planets, will be in conjunction with each other. And that makes them look very bright in the sky. And what's going to happen is they're not like in front of each other, but Saturn is going to be a little bit higher and up to the left of Jupiter. And they are so close that they will look like one with the naked eye. And that's what makes them so bright, because planets are usually pretty bright in the sky, and depending on time of year and things like that. But every so often these planets will come around and be in conjunction with each other, and this happens December 21st of this year. And a couple of interesting things about this that's going to happen. you need to look south in the southwest sky. So wherever the sun sets, that's going to be the southwest. So look close to where the sun is setting. Saturn will be, they will be right there above the horizon. So try to get a clear shot, if you can, to the southwest where the sun is setting. If you look with your binoculars, it says that you might be able to even see the two planets separately, and you possibly might be able to see some of Jupiter's moons around Jupiter. So that's pretty interesting. This is all going to take place on the winter solstice, but you can see it with your naked eye, it says. You don't need binoculars to see it. If you want to see some of the more detailed things, you can. But it says that it's going to be in the sky, the southwest, right after sunset. So that's the best time to see it. Excuse me. So, y'all be sure to look for that in the sky. And maybe this is something that Jesus wants us to see, so that we can know that it's a sign of him coming back soon. Okay? I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Sorry, I didn't mean to get choked. I hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas. And remember, if you want to read over the Bible Christmas story, you can do that in Luke chapter 2 is where it is. We read it every year at my house at Christmas. So y'all be sure to do that. We don't know exactly the day that Jesus was born, but we have chosen that day in December to celebrate. And so let's all celebrate Jesus's birth, because that's what the whole season is about. And also, Everett may kill me, but I wanted to show y'all Alfred behind me. You can see Everett when he was in kindergarten. It's a cute little thing. Anyway, but he makes it a little festive in here. For Christmas. Anyway, so happy Christmas and happy New Year as well. I will see you the first week of January. If y'all have any questions or are in need of anything, please give me a call or let me know. All right. I love y'all and I'm praying for y'all, and I will see y'all later. Bye.